Hello. This is the what I'll call the side guttering, the rain troughs for the sides of your EXP. Whether you have a first gen or second gen, you should have these guys. So there's a few things to these. They're supposed to be like a satin black. So if these match your car's been repainted. It's as easy as that. And they're held in by just a whole bunch of screws that are also painted black. I think they primer the channel and then they screw them onto the car and then they just shoot everything black up in here. And it turns out fine. There's some screw holes on my A-pillar because those just hold in another rubber gasket like this guy up top. It's a separate piece from the normal door seal gasket. But these guys. Okay, so before you can remove the one for the window and the little B-pillar trim piece for the window, you have to remove this one, the one that goes along the top of your window. But to remove this, you need to first remove all of your windshield trim. Mine's already off. I'm painting it right now. I'll be installing it later today, and I'll have the video up on that before or following this one. So I'm just filming this now before I get to those. But anyhow, once you remove all of your front window trim, you can now get to these guys, because these interlock with the windshield trim. That's why it has to leave before this goes on. So once you get the window trim off, this can come off. It's pretty easy. You just need to remove your door gasket. You just grab it, pull it down. You just have to pop it down a couple inches so you can get to each of the screws. Like I showed you, there's 5 or 6 of these guys, and they're all going to be behind this very cheap, very crude rubber gasket deflector, whatever you want to call it. And once you remove those, this will swing out towards you like this. Because on the end of this stick, there is a tab that slides very neatly into this trim piece that goes down the window. So there's a tab in there you need to keep in mind. And down in here, you can see where there's blue here and blue here. That's because attached to this piece, the long piece, there's a triangle in there that points towards the rear of the car, which helps keep it locked in, but still allows you to swing it out this way, away from the car at about 45 degrees. So once you pull it out 45 degrees, it'll just slide out, as long as you got every single screw. And there, like I said, there's about 6 screws into this one. Now that you remove that, you can get to these. But now, you can only get to these two if you've removed your corner window. Removing your corner window is almost impossible. It's really, really hard to do it. I removed this one successfully. The other one I tried removing, and just before I got it up and over the ledge, I heard a click, and then I just saw all my glass explode into tiny pieces and flood down the side inside my car. So I had to vacuum all that out, and I'm still picking up pieces inside my car of broken glass. So don't do this unless you're a professional. I have a video on how these corner ones go out. I'll include that below too. So once you have that out, you now get to this B-pillar piece of trim. It's only held in with 3 screws. You can see there's one hiding there. There's going to be one hiding in the middle, and there's one hiding down below. So, like I said, your window has to come out first, so don't bother trying to pry it off here. You're just going to bend this and goof it all up, and then you'll have to go back and fix it when you try to reinstall it. After that's done, it makes it a little easier to get to this long one on the corner. It's not too hard either. It has 3 or 4 screws in it, one at the top, one towards the bottom, not at the bottom, but towards the bottom, right about here, and they'll have either one in the center or two equidistant from the two first screws I mentioned. And then this just kind of pops out. But you more or less need to pull it away from the car towards yourself. So you can see it fits pretty tight to the car. And they did that so any water trapped in this channel, as you go down the road, the rain flows down this channel, gets inside this, and it pretty much becomes like the catch drain in your guttering system on your house. It all goes down this closed tube now, and it all escapes out of the bottom here. You can see there's a slit, and then that further helps it keep it off your back window and keeps it from going inside your hatch channel. There is weather stripping inside that will evacuate all the water that catches inside that channel, but the less water you put in there, the better it works. But then to reinstall, it's all easy. This goes in first, 3 screws into this piece. Then, like I said, you install this at a 45-degree angle, scooch it in, screw it in with the 5 or 6 screws. Do that on the other side too, and then you're all good to go and carry on with your front window trim. So that's about it. I'll have another video coming on the rear window trim and the front window trim, so keep an eye out for that. And hopefully yours isn't too goofed up. Mine had a lot of dents and divots in it. I still got a couple dents in it, but nothing I can really fix. Because on these pieces, it folds over itself on the end here. So it folds inside itself so it doesn't scratch the paint. So it's not that easy to pop dents out of these guys. And I could Bondo it, but I didn't want to Bondo it. Just really wasn't interested in it. Oh, I forgot to mention, when you pull these off inside, there's going to be a whole lot of sealant. And what happens is that sealant fails and it holds water, and then it makes this all rust. So when you remove these, remove all the sealant in there. You'll have some on the corner here too, just remove it all. And if you really want to, you can apply some sealant or something on your trim before you put it back in. Or, like I did, I left it dry because I had also sanded the bottom of the drip ledge because there was more sealant there that was cracked, holding water, and then it was rusting underneath it. So whenever water gets in here, it should just run down the channel like it was designed, and a couple drops will roll underneath itself and drip out top of my door seal, and then it'll run either direction down the door jamb of my car and evacuate itself then. I didn't feel the need to apply any sealant. You're welcome to it if you want, but from what I saw with the factory did, it only seemed to cause problems. So maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't. So I'll leave it at that. You're welcome to do whatever you'd like, of course. I just hope it all works out in the end. Hopefully yours comes out as good or better than mine. So thanks, guys.